One thing I'm going to say is when you start kind of creating who you are, who you want to be, and how you want to serve others, my only caution to you, be really careful. Because if people like it, everybody's going to want it. And what David was talking about when he mentioned people get sad when you don't do what you do, when you see in this video here, I had a listing appointment recently, and $1 million house, really nice, quiet neighborhood, very quiet neighborhood. And I had this idea that I'm going to do this beautiful, more HGTV selling Miami style video, which is a little bit different than my normal, but I already had it set up. And I'm finishing the presentation, and we're talking about everything and talking about the marketing. And the seller, the wife, looked kind of sad. And I look at her, I said, hey, what's going on? I'm going to sell your house for more than you thought. You'll be able to move to Texas sooner than you think you will. What's going on? And she goes, well, Tiger, we know it's not a $4 million house, but you didn't mention the Tiger, and you didn't really mention paddleboarding in the pool. And I kind of stopped, and I took a breath, and I was like, all right, I already knew where it was going. And it was her, the husband, and the daughter and the grandkid were in the other room. And I said, you know what? I said, would you like me to paddleboard in your pool? And I can hear the daughter screaming from the other room, yes, yes, paddleboard in our pool, paddleboard in our pool. And then the husband looks at me, and he looks sad, and I said, what's up? He goes, can you please put the hot rod in the video? I have a 1967 Camaro, so I was able to create a business that I can drive my dream car. I wanted a 67 Camaro since I was a little kid. My first car was a 68 Torino, not the same. And I finally got my dream car last year. And the point I'm getting at is, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you do on your branding, because people are going to expect that sometimes. So here's a really good example. This was done in mid-2020. The governor of Florida had passed an executive order allowing condo associations to ban certain times of access to the buildings. Well, this is the day that Miami Beach opened for the first time to the public in however many months it was. And the May building is a Kobe Cart building. It's a high-end boutique luxury. Every unit in there is pretty much $1 million, multi-million dollar unit. Everything on the ocean starts $2.5, $3 million. And this is a day that Tiger and the Tiger team took the May, and it resulted in some calls to the police and lots of confusion. But we got the video done, and I know David wanted us to show you this here.
Exclusive, luxurious, posh, elegant May condo in Miami Beach. I'm Nick Tiger Coy, and I'm here for. I can't. I can't. It's too hot for this today. It's Tiger time. Narrator, take over.
Oh yes, a beautiful Miami Beach story at the magical May condo. This adventurous and amazing life can be yours if you call Nick Tiger Quay. Follow Tiger and his friends as they enjoy a day at the luxurious, beautiful and opulent May condo in Miami Beach. Wake up to an oceanfront sunrise.
I did not fall in.
Favorite beachfront activities with your friends. With first-class beach service, reserved umbrellas, beach chairs, towels, and even refreshments included. What's not to love? Perfect for enjoying all of your time on the property, working on your tan, or just taking selfies. Oh, no animals allowed in the pool today. Meticulously maintained, May is ready for your enjoyment. This is Shangri-La. Peaceful, tranquil.
So pay attention to the words and the use of space and the camera angles.
Massive full-length balcony with salt-scented ocean breeze and split floor plan provides lots of entertaining space for all to enjoy. Tigers are as good at tree pose as they are at climbing trees. Come on, Tiger, you can do it. This unit boasts updated wood-look tiles and custom lighting throughout. This kitchen with all new cabinets and quartz countertops is perfect for cooking and enjoying a meal with your friends. There's lots to be thankful for living this luxurious life in Miami Beach. With many buildings to choose from, there's no other quite like this. High-impact glass and every luxurious amenity you need. May was built and finished just right. This is a special condo you'll look forward to going home to. Ocean views in each room greet you with a wave or two, saying, welcome home. It's about time to celebrate and fall in love with your next chapter in life. There's only one place you want to be, in your new home. At the May condo, Unit 1103.
So I guess I have a couple questions, right? Obviously, different video. Why the hell would I do this? They had a really strict mask mandate in the building. Like I said, this was right in the beginning of the pandemic. We tried for 6 months to list the property. We got pushed back, and they finally allowed us to do it. And the building wouldn't allow us to have access, wouldn't allow us to do speaking inside the building, so we had to be really creative in how to tell the story. And I've done this, thank you. I've done this multiple times. Which one goes to the arrow? There you go. So I've had multiple occasions in my career, especially recently, where I have a product to sell that I can't really get inside the building. I even had a house to sell where we couldn't even show the inside of the house. But the point on the video, who here laughed or giggled at some point? Anybody? Now raise your hand again if you wondered, what are they gonna do next? Anybody? Who here paid attention to how you might have a close-up of an animal, but then it shows back to show the distance, the space, right? And we used all the amenities. Like I said, that was the first day that the beach was open to the public. We were the first people out there. All the furniture was brand new. The condo association went apeshit. They were really upset that we were out there. And there was a pool scene, and they threatened a lawsuit against me if I put it in the video, because we're doing cannonballs and playing volleyball in a pool that no one had been in for 9 months. No one had been allowed in, and we thought, we decided we're going to sell this place today. We're going to go do whatever we want. We're getting contracted by the sellers to sell the house, to sell the condo. Well, anyway, it's kind of a good example of how you can differentiate yourself. And even when there's no's and you're being told, no, you can't do this, you can still do something really creative. You can do this, it's still easy to do something really unique. And this was a special request. There was another property that I did, an 8.5-acre estate in Redland, that had been on the market for 2.5 years with like the top broker in the area, 2.5 years on the market, and then the pandemic hit. Seller needed to sell. He wasn't using the home anymore, it then became a second home. 2.5 years, good photos. They had good photos. Couldn't find it on Google. We couldn't find the property anywhere, except for on the Coldwell Banker website, and Zillow had it, right? But there was nothing unique about the house. So that's kind of where the Tiger thing really kicked in. It's been my nickname for many years. I was always a little wild, rambunctious, daring. I took chances. I was also the person that would fight with someone else. But hear what I said, fight with, right? So if someone else was having a hard time, I was always there to help them in the struggle, even if it meant getting beat up a little bit along the way with them. That's just how I was raised in a military family. My dad's a retired Army colonel. My mom's a flower dancing hula child. She's been doing that for 47 years. So that's a little bit more about me. This presentation, was supposed to give it about a month ago, and then I got COVID. So it's called Learn to Roar. It's about becoming the king or queen of your jungle. And you notice it has an animal theme. This was a big conference of a few hundred people. I was supposed to come out to some rock and roll music and get everyone jazzed up and jumping up and down. So I'm going to do my best to kind of go through it. Learning to roar, this is what I call becoming the king or queen of your jungle. It's about everybody in the community not only knowing who you are, but every time they even think of real estate, or someone else mentions real estate, or I hate my neighbor, or God, my realtor sucks, or anything real estate related, automatically out of their mouth is Nick Tiger Quay, right? So here's how you're going to get there in your business. So what the heck is roaring? Be the king or queen of your jungle. Genuine gazelle, they all know. Define who you are in the jungle. Proud, strong, support others. Be the voice and be fun as a flamingo. Come on, AF is as a flamingo today. Carry an elephant herd with you at all times. You guys are going to like that part. Stand out when you stand up. Humanize the search and sales process. And then I'm going to give you a 4-step plan to ruling the freaking jungle. So what the heck is roaring? Roaring, it's an adjective, right? It's making or uttering a loud, deep, or harsh, prolonged sound. Hey, Tiger comes in the room and he was greeted on stage by a roaring crowd. Roar. Okay. All right, we're going to work on that. Let's try again. Tiger came inside, took the stage, and he was greeted by a roaring crowd. Hey! Oh, that's the best roar I've had in a while. There you go. All right. So now we're going to redefine what that is. We're going to redefine it. My definition is connecting with your customers, engaging through authenticity, and inspiring them. So that video was a really good example of something that inspired others. The shoot that I just did this last Tuesday, they Googled me. They saw my Tiger stuff. It inspired them. Their best friend is a realtor. The worst part, the sister-in-law is a realtor. Their neighbor across the street, since they moved in the house, is a realtor. The original developer for the community for 37 years lives on the other side. Guess who got the listing? And it was actually because of their daughter got me an interview because of this, because I roar. It doesn't mean that I'm the loudest. It doesn't mean that I walk in wearing the brightest shirts. I know I got Tiger shoes on right now, but it's about authenticity and how you take that and you're able to get profitability later. So only then, once you master connecting, engaging, and on authenticity and inspiring people, will you really earn trust and loyalty, because this is what it's all about. People are going to work with who they like. They work for maybe sometimes commonalities, but trust has to be there. You can have all the common hobbies in the world and not have trust, you're not going to get the business. So it's all about bringing them into your heart and into the heart of your pride and into the heart of your business and leading by example. So give, ask. I know somebody mentioned Gary Vee earlier. So this is kind of like the jab, jab, right hook. The way I always look at it is you have to give expecting nothing in return. Don't do it for likes. The way I look at this is when you're on social media, if you have social media or you're doing little community events or whatever it is, you want to give things expecting nothing in return. When you do that and you're giving real information, not some little BS tip that you think they have to call and say, what the hell were you talking about? That doesn't count. You want to give people real information that they can use with or without you. Don't be scared. They already know 20 other brokers anyway, right? They're not going to use you just because you're their best friend. Well, at least I don't think they should. I think they should use you because you earned it and because you're giving them very valuable information to help them be educated so they can make a good decision. And whether you're the right agent for the job, it's not really up to you. But if you roar and you're giving them information and you keep that credibility there, you're the one providing more value. So what I hate is when I see somebody trying to hide and ask with a give. Like, hey, I'm going to give you this, but you have to give me something in return. No. Listen, everybody knows. When you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, and you start clicking on links and crap, how many people here hate getting tricked and it goes into a stupid sales funnel, right? There's a time and place for that. You want to sell a watch, great. You want to sell shoes, great. You want to upsell a book for coaching and you want to sell this on a retreat, cool, there's a time and place. But for real estate, for the premise of getting listings, I don't believe in that. I believe in sharing your passions. I like biking, paddleboarding. I like to cook, as you guys heard earlier. Share this with people. Show them the real you. Give them the authentic version of who you are. If we have time, I'll share a video later where unscripted, uncut, raw, where I'm actually in tears at one point telling a hard part of my life story, which became my biggest blessing, and I'll show you why that's important. When you ask for something, make it super clear. The one time when you do go in for ask, hey, I want you to think of 2 people that you can introduce me to today. Don't hide it with some bullshit gift that you're giving them in exchange. Don't do it. Just be honest, be direct, and just, if you want something, ask. If you want them to share your video, today I'm knocking on doors. We hit about 100 doors today. We had probably, maybe 25, 26 conversations. And I said, hey, this is an opportunity for you to choose your own neighbor. Do you have a cousin, a friend, a loved one, a coworker who you would love to be closer? Do you have kids of the same age? Would you please take a photo of this flyer and send it to 3 people? I straight up asked them after I gave information, right? And a couple of them said, yes, I will. So this is about being the king or queen of your jungle. When you're truly roaring is when the jungle is roaring for you. Well, the jungle is your business, okay? So what's a jungle? It's a land covered with dense forest, tangled vegetation, usually in a tropical climate. This is Miami. You're in a tropical climate. This is your jungle, okay? The jungle is the richest habitat on Earth. Well, that's your database. That's your SOI. That's your community, okay? That's your fan club, whatever you want to call it. Your jungle is your business. Your jungle starts with your SOI and with your community. So now you have to kind of define who you are. So if you want to rule the jungle, who are you? It's all about stepping up your game, finding your roar. Like I said, the roar, it's not always about being the loudest, right? It's about understanding what you're giving to the community. The people in our industry that have mastered this, they're all doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I mean, regardless of COVID and all this crazy stuff, these people are always going to be successful because there's always such a large flow of referrals and business coming in that they're never going to be hungry. So who are you in the jungle that we call business? And we're going to have some fun here. When I say roar, you guys are going to have to roar. You got it? When I say roar? Roar. No, when I say roar? Roar. No, almost. All right. So who are you in the jungle? The reason I have the different animals here, during COVID, a lot of people were walking around like a hyena. So a hyena is a great animal, but sometimes you see it walking around like this, doesn't know where it's going. So a lot of people got stuck walking around, not knowing where they were going. They were getting depressed or having anxiety. They got all this COVID stuff going on in their head, and they don't really know where they're going in life, right? The other thing is you look at someone that sometimes acts like the mouse. They get scared. They get nervous. They try to roar, but instead of a roar, it comes out like a squeak, right? They lose their voice. They have this fear. So it's not about being the loudest, it's about having a clear and concise message. And then you have the prairie dog. Prairie dog's a fun one. So the prairie dog could be just out there looking for its next meal, right? There's all these different things that you can do to get you to how you rule the jungle. The wolf, some people are scared of the wolves, other people want to be in the wolf pack. The reason I'm using animals is because it's really easy for you to take these character traits of the animal, right? And you can identify this. You can connect this with realtors that you know, whether it's a big name over here or the person from your neighborhood or your lender, whoever it is. There's different personality types, but defining who you are and who you're going to be is important. This little mouse can have the biggest roar in the world. Look, it's got a megaphone, right? It's not about being a lion or a tiger only. It's about finding who you are. You have to define who you are first, who you're going to serve, how you're going to serve, and most importantly, who you want to be to the community, who you want to be to your clients. When you figure that out, you're going to master everything. Like I said, this is your jungle and it's your choice to make. Here's a key. So here's a few key points to roar by. I'm always really big into pride, helping others. So show pride and showcase others' wins. If a friend of yours or someone in your network or maybe a local restaurant wins an award, you want to showcase that. Well, being the one that roars the most in your community, you're going to win. It's kind of like being like the local mayor. I know a lot of people have probably heard that phrase before. If you want to win in real estate, you have to become the mayor. So it's all about showcasing others' wins and supporting them. Be strong. Give others strength is one of the strongest ways to not only be seen, but to lift up the community. So when you lift up others around you, there's always going to be people there to help you out too. Support others, be the jungle plug. I'm in a BNI. Who knows what a BNI is? Nobody? It's a business, okay, a few of us. So it's a business networking group. It's category exclusive. There's one residential realtor, one mortgage broker, one this, one that, one dentist. Anything anybody needs in my community or any community that I serve in, I'm the plug. You got a problem at your house, I got a contractor, I got this, I got that, I got my public adjuster. You need, you're having a problem with the nanny. Boom, I got like 5 of them. Your cleaner just bailed on you, I got 6 of them. I got a commercial cleaner, I got this. You want to be the plug. You want to keep a database of different vendors. It's in my favorites on my phone. At about 60 people. I have a divorce attorney. I have somebody for criminal defense. Let me tell you, some idiot friend of yours gets a DUI. You want to help them out. Give them the right attorney. The point is, be the plug. Be a resource, right? Like really no matter what it is. That's where you're going to create the most opportunity. Be the voice. Be the mayor. You heard me say that already. It's about just being positive. I talk about fun, stay humble, laugh. I like to laugh a lot, smile a lot. Right? People like someone that smiles. It shows honesty, shows integrity. If you also notice my hand gestures, I always try to be open. I hate having my back to anybody. You guys will probably notice this later at the pool bar. I'll be the one in the back just to not have to have my back to you because it shows this openness and this honesty and this integrity. People feel this. Other realtors, when you go to a networking event that's not just real estate, it's like a bunch of damn sharks. So there's time and place for that, but it's not my style. All right. So carry the elephant herd with you at all times. This is interesting. Usually this speech is about an hour long. I do a similar version where it's like a meditation break. But what the herd means to me, everybody stand up really quick, and I'll tell you what this is. So I want you to stand up. You guys ever see a power pose? You ever hear that? Anybody raise their hands? You got one. Okay. So first I want you to take a deep breath. Then I want you to let it out. One more breath, but your shoulders are going to go back, chest is going to go out. Let it out, right? One more. Shoulder back, chest out, and you're going to finish exhaling with hands on your hips. And you're going to hold. You can keep on breathing. I'm not going to make you hold your breath. But I want you to stand like this. So now I want you to look around the room just a little bit, just to the sides, see who you're with. A bunch of big, strong brokers and real estate professionals, right? Right? A bunch of sexy-ass people. All right. But the point is, you have nothing to fear. So when you create your pride and you create your group, there's nothing to worry about. You have all these people to depend on. You have people to send you business, people to send you referrals, people to help you. If one lender doesn't work out, you got your backup. You have all these great resources there that you've created by creating a community and serving others. You take this with you everywhere you go. This energy you feel right now is a little bit different than when you might have stood up. Oh, my back hurts, or I had a couple too many beers at the bar before I came up for the meeting, whatever it is. When you stand up like this, your energy shifts. It's changing your physiology. Tony Robbins does a lot of works like that. So if you want to know later, I have a whole playlist on YouTube for that. But it's about finding your center, creating the energy that you're going to take with you everywhere you go. When I go to a listing appointment, usually I stop a few blocks away. I literally get out of my car, even in the rain, and I'll breathe. I do a little breathing exercise. I center myself, change my physiology, and then I march up to the door because I know it's my listing. I don't have any competition, just myself and what I'm going to do different this time that's better than what I did last time. That's it. So I want you to think about this energy later on. Think about this the next time you go to a meeting, a listing appointment, a photo shoot, a video, standing up in front of a room and talking to people, whatever it is. There's no reason to have this fear because you have all the energy you need right here with you, right? So now that you have what you need, now it's time to succeed. So here's kind of a cool little graphic that we put together. The one who stands out the most and can back it up in business wins. You guys can sit down now. So the one that stands out the most and can back it up in business wins. There's a lot of animals in the jungle. There's a lot of brokers. Almost 60,000 just on the Miami Board of Realtors. And I think there's 242,600 and something as of last week in Florida. It's a lot. You know, we have 25% of the realtors in Florida happen to be here. So stand out in your service. Stand out in your actions. Stand out in your roar. Stand out in your roar. All right, thank you. Okay. But the best way to grow your business is to be the one roaring. Yeah. Who stands out in your network, then get others to join. So when I talked about earlier that you really know that you're roaring when the jungle roars for you, it's because you get everyone else to do it along with you. And then anytime that you're going to stand up for anything, you're really going to stand out when you stand up. So as you heard me say earlier, you celebrate other people's wins. The little taco shop down the street gets a Miami New Times. You better believe I'm out there the next day talking to the owner or talking to the chef or talking to myself, eating a taco, right? Putting it on my Instagram, putting it on Facebook, maybe even on my LinkedIn. And if you have a newsletter or an email list, send it out to the people in the community. Hey, did you know that, Tito's Tacos down the street over here just won Best Taco of the Year or Best Taco in North Bay Village or Best Taco in Kendall or whatever? Support that. Then you let them know, right? I do a series called the Tiger Tours. Well, Tiger can tour anything. I could tour Best Empanadas in Miami. I could do this every year. I like empanadas. I just did one at a really nice vegan restaurant down south off of the Aguacate Sanctuary I love. The amount of business, which is insane, the amount of business that I'm getting from that, just for supporting them, the amount of phone calls and text messages and things that I get from my video of Aguacate Sanctuary of Love is insane. I went down, I ate like half the menu. I sincerely love this place. I had a great time. I let the staff get involved in the video. It was so easy for me. I like to eat. I like to cook. I like people. Done. I support them, right? Now I'm getting support back, which wasn't intended, but this is the effect. When you support others and you lift others up, they're going to do the same to you. Handwritten letters, and it was already mentioned. There's websites that you can go to that a robot writes with a pen. It won't look like your handwriting, but it looks handwritten. Birthday gifts is a really fun one for kids. Instead of just like giving the anniversary of the house, every realtor does that, right? But how many people are sending an anniversary gift for the day that they beat cancer? Unfortunately, in the time we live in, that's a big thing. A lot of people get it, they beat it, it comes back. Wedding anniversary is a big one. But for the kids, most importantly, because when I show houses and kids show up, I let the kids lead the way. I'm like, hey, which one's going to be your room? Now, let me tell you, they want the one with the hot tub and the king-size bed. Hey, mom and dad can deal with that one later. But the kid's the one that's really going to help me sell the house. So show that you care with your actions. Don't make it transactional. I don't know. That's just the way I've been for many years, and it works well. It's all about literally just being authentic, caring, like actually giving a shit about what they're going through. Offering to pick up the kids sometimes. I've picked up boat parts. I've picked up cars, all kinds of stuff just to help my clients. Something you can do right now, you guys should really write this one down. If you want to get some more business right now, let's say you want to get 3 to 5 more clients in the next week, take a picture of this or write it down. Make a list right now of your top 10 to 25 best clients you've ever had or referral sources. You're going to do 2 things with this. You're going to make a list of your 10 to 25 top clients or referral sources ever. Then you're going to make a list. You're going to write down their name. Each of them gets their own page. You have to write it. You're not allowed to type. You got to hand write this out because then you're going to remember it all. Okay? You're going to write down some personal things about each of them. Find out a fun. So first you're going to write down their personal things. You're going to think about the relationship. Are they a paddleboarder? Are they a Somali? Do they like wine? Do they like cigars? Do they go to Italy every year? Whatever it is, right? Do they have little kids? Do they love Pomeranians? I don't know. Do they have a shoe collection from Nike? Whatever it is, write these kind of things down for each one of them. And something I don't have here, you're going to look at, what do you think drives them? Why do you connect with them? Right? So these are people that have already sent you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clients. Could be a business owner. What was it about the relationship that stood out to you? It might not be the one that you like the most, but it's the one that gives you the most business. There's a difference sometimes. Think about, why do they send you business? What did you do? Are you roaring? Probably. At least I got one person that's on. Thanks. Anyway, so you're going to do that. Then I want you to find, this is just something that I do. If all you start sending coffee table books, it's going to get a little old. But I like to find a fun or funny coffee table book, something about it. Could be their favorite hobby, their favorite passion, their favorite interest. If I knew that they honeymooned in Paris, here's some fun ones, right? Lover's Way to Paris. Okay, they haven't been back in 10 years. It could be a nice little reminder. A reminder that you care enough to think about this, right? Things to avoid in France. I'm sure there's a coffee table book for that. And there's probably one called 101 Things to Do with a Croissant. It's funny, it's different, it's unique. And for me, I would probably send Things to Avoid or the 101 Things to Do with a Croissant. Why? Because everyone else is going to send the Lover's Guide to Paris. You can do it, but when you're thinking about it and you're really thinking about them, I guarantee you they did some of the things to avoid. All of us go on a trip internationally and do something that we're never going to do again. It happens to all of us. So the point is, be authentic, rehumanize the relationship process. There are some teams that are all transactional. I get it. Not my style. I was never that way. I wasn't raised that way. It's not the person that I am. It's not who I enjoy being, and it's not who I want to be. So that's just a few ways that I roar. All right. So here, you guys can stop that now if you want. All right. So here. I think I'm getting, all right, that's fine. Okay, well, I got a few more roars then here. There you go. All right. So here's a really good 4-step plan. It's about visibility. So you got to be visible first. Visibility creates credibility. So when you're visible enough, whether you're giving these tips for free, maybe it's, hey, here's 10, actually David and I were talking about this last night kind of, about breaking down content, right? Just from this right now, what you've heard me do, each of you can have at least 5, 10 takeaways. Well, that you can talk about today, or you can talk about tomorrow. Hey, I was at this amazing conference with some of the best realtors in South Florida. Oh my God, David Kurz and these guys are amazing. Well, each one of those takeaways could be one video, right? So imagine you guys only had 10 takeaways from this. Who had at least 10 takeaways so far from the entire event? All right, so you already have 10 content pieces. You don't have to talk on video like me if you don't want to. You can write it out. You can send an email. You can send a big text. Whatever you do, however you communicate, you already have at least 10 pieces of content. That's 10 different ways that you can now create visibility in your sphere. And if you're giving tips for someone to get their house ready to sell, that's important. We have storm season coming. 5 things you should know, 5 things you should check on your home before storm season, especially if it's a single family home or a townhouse. You're giving valuable information. You're not asking them for anything. You're not saying, I want to sell your house. You're saying, I want to help you protect your assets. I want to help you avoid a headache of fighting your insurance company, right? So you're getting these content pieces to create credibility. Sorry, visibility first. That creates credibility because you care. They're like, oh my God, this guy actually gives a shit about what I'm doing in my life. He cares that my house doesn't get damaged. And if it does, he's told me a few ways to stop it. He's told me a few ways to help protect myself, right? Things you can put on the window, those big little trap things that blow out when the water hits it and creates a barrier in front of your doors. Whatever you want to research and put out that you should. Well, after you have the credibility, eventually profitability is going to come in. They're going to remember you. And the best part about this is if your content or whatever information you're giving that's creating your credibility in that network, even if it's just mail outs and booklets, whatever it is, it's going to get shared. They're going to leave it on their desk at work. They're going to take it to the friend's house. They're going to say, hey, you just said something. This realtor literally last week sent me this video. This realtor last week sent me this piece of mail. He sent me a coupon for this lady that does free roof inspections before hurricane season, right? You've given them credibility. You're now going to have profitability, I promise. And then when you have profitability, you're going to be ruling the freaking jungle. And you're just happy tiger over here saying what? All right, there you go. So here's a few apps and books that I recommend. Just take a picture of this. I'm not going to get into the whole thing.